welcome to Jazz Postcards. This is an initiative of the Hyde Park Jazz Festival in an effort to keep musicians working during this quarantine time and to make sure Chicago has at least some music during the summer. So we're very grateful to be here. I'm Shanta. This is my daughter Keewa. Welcome to Dixon Elementary School.
I like the sunrise, 'cause it brings a new day. I like a new day. It brings new hope, they say. I like the sunrise, blazing in a new star. I like the sunrise. Oh, so am I. Every evening I wish upon a star that my brand new bright tomorrow isn't very far. When that bright blue curtain of light is way up high in the sky, the sunrise. Hope raised up in a new. I like the sunrise. I hope it lights for me. That was a Duke Ellington song called I Like the Sunrise, lesser known Duke Ellington tune. So we're in Chatham, and while I didn't attend Dixon, my grandfather lived over there for most of my childhood. My grandmother lived over there, 79th and Langley, for most of my childhood. So Chatham still feels very much like home. We grew up 1 block away from Cole Park, not even really. So you could say that the soundtrack of my childhood was the ice cream truck. We had it down to a science, or so we thought, because we knew that when the ice cream truck first arrived to the park and would sit there, it would get mobbed by kids. And so we thought, me and my siblings, we thought we were too cool for school. We were VIPs because we lived where the ice cream truck loved to come. And so we would wait until the music kind of died down and the kids got their ice cream, and then we would stroll on up and order, get the change from inside of the couch to get whatever we could get. However, most times that didn't work out too well because the music would go away and we would be watching TV, and then we would realize, oh wait, we're gonna miss the truck. So we would run out of the house, and we would oftentimes end up chasing the ice cream truck down the block because we had waited too long thinking we were VIPs and that the ice cream truck man would wait for us. And that's just not how it works. It's just not how it works.
Speaking of Cole Park, or to back up a little bit, my parents bought a house on 85th and Vernon. We moved there from Park Manor when I was 8 years old. So we moved there before there was a Cole Park. There was just an empty field there. When Cole Park was constructed or developed, by then I was a teenager, and I had explicit instructions not to go to Cole Park. But, I had to explore it. It was a new spot in the neighborhood. So one evening I went to Cole Park. Before I even got settled in, here comes my mother, walking down the middle of the street, marching down the middle of the street. Found me, pulled me by my hair all the way home out of Cole Park. Needless to say, I was an adult before I ever went back to Cole Park. But I did attend this wonderful school, Arthur Dixon Elementary School, from 3rd grade through 8th grade. And it was a wonderful experience. Being in Chatham at that time was very safe. We felt carefree. We could ride our bikes all over. Where Peary School is now and the lot where Target was, that was all open field. We would ride our bikes over there. There were 2 grocery stores there, National and AMP on the other side of the field. We could go there, or we could go to the Jewel on the corner of 83rd and King Drive, which was South Park at the time. Right now there's an open field, but fortunately a community garden taking place there. I'm very thankful for my parents, my mother who's here. For providing such a wonderful place to live, and for my father, who's passed on but would be 100 years old next week. Thankful to them for providing a safe and comfortable and rich childhood for us. Thank you very much. In India in 1969.
The music is the magic of a secret world, a secret world, a secret world. The music is the magic of a secret world. It's the world that is always within. The music is the magic and the hiding place, the hiding place, the hiding place. The music is the magic and the hiding place. It's the place where the spirit is home. The music is the magic of the sacred world, the sacred world, the sacred world. The music is the magic of the sacred world. It's the world where the spirit is home. The music is the magic of a secret world. It's the world that is always within. The music is the magic and the hiding place, the hiding place, the hiding place. The music is the magic and the hiding place. It's the place where the spirit is home. Space where the spirit is home. It's the place where the spirit is home. Thank you.
So in 1968, when our family moved here to Chatham, it was in a time of transition. And one of the things that I liked to do in the evening was look through my mother's high school yearbooks. She went to Inglewood High School, and I used to just study those books. So when the neighbor next door, Frank Bradley, whose family had just moved in, when he got his yearbook, I was anxious to see it too. And one of the things that I noticed was that there were hardly any black people going to Hirsch at that time. His yearbook was from Hirsch High School. And I looked at it, and it kind of reminded me of my mother's yearbooks, which had black students and white students in it. And she had told us stories about the white prom and the black prom. This whole thing about 2 and 8-year-old or 9-year-old, this whole thing about race was just perplexing. And then a few years later, I think just about 6 years later, when I went to Hirsch, there was only one white family left in the whole school. And they owned the corner store across from Grand Crossing Park. And my young mind pondered that, why had they left? Why had they run away from us? As I grew older, started telling stories around the country, and I would say I was from Chicago, and white people would very, very proudly come up and tell me they were from Chicago too. And I would say, well, where? And they said, well, South Shore. And the thing that would run through my mind over and over again was, yeah, your family was some of the ones that ran away from us. And they were running. Like we were told at one point, don't go past Ashland because you won't be safe. And then a few years later, it was don't go past Damon because you won't be safe. They were still running. Don't go past Western because you won't be safe. And some of my girlfriends decided that they were going to go to Riverview, take the bus to Riverview, and my mother wouldn't let me go. So they went, they had a wonderful time. They spent all of their money except enough for car fare from Riverview, from Western out to 87th Street, but they didn't have enough for a transfer. So they had to walk from 87th and Western all the way back to Vernon. And they described to me being chased by these groups of white boys with rocks and sticks and stuff. They had to run, practically run all the way home. And then I understood why my mother didn't let me go to Riverview. But this whole thing of white flight, for a while, I thought it was all in the hands and minds of the people who ran. But it turns out that they were being baited by real estate agents and developers who would call them on the phone and, tell them how their property values were dropping and how it wasn't safe for them to be in the neighborhoods anymore. So it wasn't just their perception of us that drove them away, but they were being egged on by others as well. Turns out, though, so we ended up with this all-black neighborhood, right? And there was a strength in that. It was a feeling of being in a village. My 7th grade teacher lived down the street. Next door, there was a high school principal. Next door to him, there was a lawyer. Now, I didn't know he was a lawyer because whenever I would ring the doorbell, I would see the nameplate that said Addie, A-T-T-Y, and then Lemuel Bentley. And I kept wondering, well, who's Addie? And I think I was an adult before I figured out who Addie was. But Chatham was just a wonderful place to be. I had the honor of raising my children here as well in the house that I grew up. And although I don't know, no way that I would know everything they experienced, just like my mother doesn't know everything I experienced. I think perchance it was a pretty good place to be. What do you say, Kate?
Yeah, growing up in Chatham was awesome. And my husband grew up in Hyde Park, and he gets so annoyed when I argue with him about how much better Chatham was. I just remember it being safe. We, thinking of my children now and the paranoia of someone swooping your child up, and you can't just let them ride the bike off into the distance anymore. So I feel very fortunate to have lived in a neighborhood where we were so far out of sight and still safe. We recognized our neighbors recognized us. There were children everywhere, so I had so many peers my age who lived in all the different sides of the neighborhood. And the cool thing is that, so we still, when I was growing up, there were still black clubs and black parties, and so I was able to benefit from that as well. But there was a family towards the end of the block, and the children were older than me, so maybe lined up with my older siblings. But we played together, we grew up together, and once we all went off to college, we kind of parted ways. But in adulthood, especially since I moved back from New York, I'm starting to see these familiar faces again, and we've become friends again. And so, I don't even know if I told you this, but one of the siblings, you know, Monica and Keith Horton, when the looting happened, I have a shop in the South Loop, and when the looting happened, we had to board up. And Monica sent me a message saying, you know, do you have to board up? What do you need? And I said, oh, you know, I don't know. I got to call someone and figure it out. I don't even know how much this costs, you know, so annoying. But she said, no, what do you need? How much is it? And literally that night, she sent the money. And so my neighbor from when I was 5 years old from the end of the block ended up paying for my boards for my storefront. So to me, that's just a testament of how we grew up and how strong that connection is. So I feel very, very thankful for that.
So in honor of Saturn and Cole Park.
Right. Cole Park, named after the great Nat King Cole. So this next song is dedicated to him.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, that's the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, hey, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, Gone Figure, Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. If you get hit to this kind of trip, when you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Plan to motor west, travel my way, that's the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't Getting your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Thank you, thank you.
I know what's left to say about Chatham. Chatham has some very famous former residents, great people who were born and bred here. Chance the Rapper. Me, my mother. Who else? Who else are some Chatham notables? Yell them out if you know.
Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia Jackson, yes, the Mahalia Jackson story is coming soon. I'll be glad to see that. A future notable, Lotus, in her most stylish summer outfit today. Future president and poet laureate of the country. Oh, Iris, Rose is asking Iris if you know any more notables who lived in Chatham or grew up in Chatham. You know. This is our last tune. We are
keep on learning. Soldiers, keep on warring. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Cowards, keep on lying, while your people keep on dying. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. So I'm glad I had to try it again, 'cause last time I think I lived my whole world of sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach the highest ground. Ooh. Teachers, keep on teaching. Preachers, keep on preaching. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Chatham, keep on loving. Southside, hey, keep on believing. Sleepers, just stop sleeping, 'cause it won't be too long. So glad that I let me try it again, 'cause the last time I think I lived my whole world of sin. So glad I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Ooh, till I reach my highest ground. Yeah, till I reach my highest ground. Till I reach my highest ground. Till I reach my highest ground. Thank you. That's it. Not a full love letter, but just a little short postcard from Chatham. Thank you. I'm Keewa Nurullah.
Shanta Nurullah here. Okay, and thank you especially to Kate Doubleton for the brainstorm of having these jazz postcards. 4 different days during the summer, artists all over Chicago. You can see previous postcards on the Hyde Park Jazz Festival's website, as well as you can hop over to Jackson Park, and then you can go to Wintermack Park and continue seeing other postcards this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us in Chatham.
Thank you. Woo! Oh, yeah.